What's good, y'all? Welcome and welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna get straight into it. We're talking about follow through. We're talking about how to create discipline at will, create discipline when you fall off track, getting a little bit into discipline for women, what that looks like, and yeah, all the things today. I really reflected and just thought about this like topic, how I want to present it for you guys and all that. So I wrote some notes. If you see me looking down throughout the video, that's why. I need to make sure I'm checking the boxes and hitting the points that I want to make sure I talk about today. Depending on how long this video is, I might splice it into two different parts because if you're in the experience of having resistance to discipline or just not able to follow through, you're already feeling overwhelmed, you're already feeling a little guilt, a little shame. I don't want to add to that overwhelm by like slapping you with an hour-long video, and then that's just gonna be another thing you're gonna have to add to your list to watch and then never get around to it. I really want to make sure I make this as digestible as possible. I want to make sure that I'm able to like reach the people I need to reach, and you're able to be receptive to it in whatever space that you are right now when it comes to discipline and following through. And I'm also going to do a follow-up on how to maintain discipline, but for now we're just getting into how to create it at will and how to create it if you've like fallen off or got off track or anything of the sorts, you know what I'm saying. Yes, so let's get into it. So first I want to talk about got a shoot. I'm glitching. Yo, please. Okay. First, I want to talk about like why it's important. I feel like this topic is pretty important because I noticed in my experience and just talking to women and being around women that a lot of women are struggling with bouncing back, and getting back on track if they fell off, and being able to follow through with the things that they said they want to do, the things they said they want to create, things they said that when they want to accomplish, and things that they have to do in order to do that. Everybody talks about discipline, everybody talks about having it and maintaining it, but I don't really see too many people talking about how to create it at will, how to um, create discipline when you've fallen off track, how to create discipline when your mental health is um, a little shaky, or your emotions are at play, or you just don't have capacity, you don't have the energy, you don't have the willpower, you don't have the passion. How do we create discipline when we're in that space? I feel like this is a super important topic to really get into because a lot of women are feeling like it's a character flaw, like it's just them. Like if I just had more discipline, I know I could do the things I want to do. I just need more discipline. I just need more time. I just need a little more rest. I just need, and never getting around to actually doing and achieving the things that they want to do and achieve. Without further ado, I'm going to try not to yap too much because I want to get through this so that we can get to some actionable steps. I want to make sure that we're able to get to the actionable steps that can actually help you create that discipline whenever you need it, whenever you've fallen off tracks, whenever your cycle has finished and you need to replenish and your energy is building back up. How do we get back on track? How do we do it at a way that honors our body, that honors our mental capacity, our emotional state, and just whatever stage you are in life, whatever's going on? How do we create discipline? First, I want to get into some common symptoms that I've noticed and that I've also experienced that you may be lacking discipline or the ability to follow through it. And I kind of don't want to just use that word discipline, and throw it around because we already know discipline is definitely plays a big factor into following through with what you want. However, um, at this point, I feel like it's just jargon. It's kind of overused, and it kind of just there's just I don't know. For me, I feel like there's a stigma around like discipline, and I heard so many women say, "Yeah, I just need more discipline. I just need more discipline." But I feel like it's a little deeper than just having discipline, and I kind of want to get a little deeper into it, into the core, and into the root of what it is. So for the duration of this video, I'm gonna say resistance to discipline or resistance to following through. I'm gonna still obviously use discipline because it's a term that we all know and part of my vocabulary, and it is one of the main concepts of this video. But I'm gonna say women who are experiencing a resistance to following through. It's not a character flaw. It's not. Um, yes, it's a lack of discipline, but it's deeper than that. So without further ado, let's get into some of the common symptoms that I've noticed. I'm going to go through my list that I created here. Is feeling overwhelmed and anxious, like just feeling overwhelmed with little tasks, big tasks, things that you have to do, just kind of feeling overwhelmed with everything. This feels like a lot, it feels like too much, and you're feeling anxious about these things. Another one, a big one, is procrastination. I experience procrastination a lot. I feel overwhelmed too, but procrastination is one of the biggest telltale signs that I'm kind of feeling some resistance to discipline and resistance to following through. Procrastination can look like anything from scrolling on your phone, on social media, just doing anything that's not the thing that you're supposed to be doing. You know how it gets sometimes when you're procrastinating. You're literally looking for anything to do besides what you need to be doing. Another one is unable to follow through with tasks or things that you say that you will. Another thing that comes with it is resting or relaxing. Well, I can't even say relaxing, but resting, not feeling at peace. Like you're laying down, you're scrolling, you could be procrastinating, do whatever it is that you're doing, but you like there's like an inner turmoil going on because it's like I'm laying down right now when I know I should be getting up and going to the gym, or I'm laying down right now when I know I should be working on my business, I should be working on my craft, I should be taking care of myself, I should be doing my schoolwork, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, whatever it is that you're trying to do, whatever it is that you're trying to create. You know that you're supposed to be taking a step, doing an action towards it, but you're not. So you're feeling this kind of like you can't really feel at peace when you're relaxing or you're hanging out with friends or whatever, because you know that there's something that should be done. You're in your head a lot, overthinking, but not taking action. So that could look like anything from thinking about all the stuff that you do and not doing it. You're just kind of in your head either planning or creating lists or whatever it is, but you're overthinking whatever it is and you're not taking that action that you should be taking to do it. Another big one that I especially experience is fatigue or low energy. This fatigue, this low energy, you're just too tired to do the thing. You know what I'm saying? You're too tired to get up and go to the gym. You're too tired to meal prep. You're too tired. Like you're just always tired. You could sleep, you could rest. However, you're just still feeling tired or low energy. The last one I'm gonna say is shutting down or numbing. So just not doing anything at all. Like you could have been doing a couple things and then you know you got something to do and now you're just doing nothing at all. You're shutting down. That's also known. It could also be like the freeze response. So with our nervous system, when it gets in when it gets in survival, let me slow down. Our nervous system, when it gets in survival mode, we have fight, flight, or freeze. It's going to be that freeze response, just not doing anything, kind of like completely shutting yourself down to everything, numbing yourself. You could be drowning yourself watching TV shows, doom scrolling on social media for hours on end, or just distracting yourself, whatever it is, to completely shut out whatever it is that you need to be doing. These symptoms kind of show that. Sorry, I have like a hair on my lip. I don't know if y'all can see it, but I could definitely feel it. We got it. So those are the common symptoms that I noticed. And if you notice those symptoms in yourself, you could be experiencing a little resistance to follow through. So I wanted to now get into some of the causes, the common causes that I've noticed that can cause obviously cause this resistance to following through. I'm going through my list again, so if I'm looking down, that's why. Number one, the first, it's not in any specific order, but one of the biggest ones is going to be feeling unsafe. So women, we really need safety, and we really have to feel safe to do the things that we say that we want to do. Without safety, that is one of our number one needs. We need to feel safe. So if you're experiencing a resistance to discipline or a resistance to follow through, one of the number one causes could be you're feeling unsafe. Another one is like slipping into the mentality nothing can be done, or you don't have the time, or it's too hard, or someone else is more equipped to do it. Just any type of excuse or mentality that prevents you from taking action. There's also, those are like some of the negative, I wouldn't say negative ones, but those are somewhere like the ones where you're downplaying yourself. And there's also ones where you're kind of like super boasting yourself, but you're still not taking the action. So that's like, you could pick it up at any time that you want and get it started, but you're not really doing that. It's never today. It's like, okay, someday in the future you'll do it. Another one is fantasizing and visualizing about it and planning and these addictions to like the fantasies, but never really taking the action. So the problem with that is that you're feeling like when you're like planning all the things that you do. Okay, so for example, say that you want to get your dream body. You want to go to the gym, you want to eat the right things, you know what I'm saying? You just want to take care of your body and get your desired body shape. You're doing the things like you're on TikTok, you're scrolling through the videos, you're getting the workouts, you're envisioning like yourself going to the gym, what meals you need to do, like what meals you need to get, all the stuff you're planning it, you're envisioning it. For example, if it's your business, you're envisioning how the business will look, how, you know, the products that you'll serve, the things that you'll do, and all of this feels good for the brain. It feels like, yes, we're making progress towards this goal, but at the end of the day, you're not taking the action to do it. So this causes a resistance to discipline, because your brain already feels fat. It feels like, yeah, so we made progress towards the goal. Like, this feels satisfying enough to not actually go to the gym, or not actually cook the meal, or not actually spend the time working on the business or posting the content, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So these fantasies and these addiction to the fantasies and how good it feels prevents us from actually taking the action that we need to take to bring this into actuality. Another common cause is waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for the big idea to come to you, thinking it'll pop up at some point, just waiting in any sense. Like waiting for, like I said, the perfect time, waiting in any capacity creates stagnancy. Think about it like in a Disney movie, like the princess, she's helpless, she's, you know, whatever happened to her, she has this curse on her, and she's just waiting for the Prince Charming to come save her. If we want to create our ideal lives, if we want to bring our desires into actuality, we actually want to achieve these things, then waiting around for somebody to save you isn't really the best, isn't really the most beneficial route to take. Like, you want to be able to step up to the plate and get it done yourself. Like, you don't want to be waiting around for somebody to save you, especially if you want to have your desired business, have your desired income. Is this focused? I hope I didn't just unfocus it. Okay. You want to have your desired income. You want to have your desired business. We don't want to wait for a Prince Charming to save us. If you want financial freedom, you want to be able to sustain yourself without waiting for somebody to save you. So this waiting energy creates stagnancy in ideas, in action, and it causes that resistance to discipline. Another one is fear. So it can be fear of disappointment, fear of commitment, what it requires. It could be fear of success, anything under the umbrella. Any type of fear creates that resistance. This fear could either be conscious or unconscious. Sometimes you're completely unaware of the fact that you have this lingering fear that is acting as a barrier for you to do the things that you want to do. For me, what I realized in 2025, about a year ago, is that I had this fear of commitment. I never even knew that I had a fear of commitment. When I was dating, I would always think it was like I would always think it's the man or the guy I was dealing with who had this fear of commitment. And in actuality, after doing a little inner work or realizing this about myself, I was truly the one who had a fear of commitment, and I was choosing partners who reflected this back to me. And I also wasn't really fully like committing to my goals or to my dreams or the things I wanted to do. So like I said, this fear could be you could either be aware of it or you could be unaware of it, but regardless, it is one of the common causes that I've noticed. Another one, I kind of brushed on it earlier, is poor mental health or emotional instability, just feeling incapacitated by your emotions or just the state of your mental being. That's another one I noticed. Various levels of energy and output. As women, our hormones are changing every week. Every week, our hormones and our energy levels are different. If last week you were able to get 20 things done in the span of a day or a couple days, and this week you're only able to get 4 things done. If you're not aware of the fact that our energy levels are constantly shifting, then you're probably thinking it's you that created this, or that you just need to step up and do more because you was able to do it last week. But you're not really considering the fact that you don't have as much energy that you had last week. That's common when going from ovulation to luteal. I know that's something that I experienced at times. Another one is feelings of inadequacy. So feeling like you're not good enough, feeling undeserving. So anything like imposter syndrome, feeling like you're not ready. Those also cause resistance. We have lack of self-trust. Lack of self-trust is a big one, and I'll get a little bit into that. I'll get a little bit more into that further on in the video. I'm going to kind of speed these up because I want to get into the actionable steps to help you guys and keep it kind of short. Damn, we already at 18 minutes. I'm a yapper. Let me speed this up a little. Another one is perfectionism. I know a lot of women experience this, thinking you have to execute or be perfect at it consistently every time. And a big one is misplaced energy. So giving too much time and energy to the wrong things and thinking that we have unlimited energy. Us women, we are givers. We love to give. It's such a beautiful quality. Men are also givers. The biggest difference is that women think that we can just give without replenishing. We think that we have this unlimited amount of energy that we can constantly put out and not get tired, or not understanding why we no longer have enough energy to invest into our business or invest into our gym routine or into our schoolwork or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? And also misplaced energy, so putting too much energy into the wrong places, like poor relationships, that job that's treating you poorly, poor friendships, poor habits, whatever it is. Putting so much energy into those things that aren't really growing you or serving you, and not having enough energy for the things that you actually want to grow and that will actually serve you and that you want to create. So we talked about the symptoms, we talked about some of the causes. Now I want to get into real quick the effects of what a lack of discipline does to you, or the resistance to discipline does to you. So a big one is feeling shame, guilt, disappointment, or self-doubt. Let me take a sip of water. So what's common with this feeling of shame, guilt, disappointment, or self-doubt is you're feeling ashamed or guilty about not doing the things that you said you want to do, and that feeling keeps you stuck in this space where you can't get up and do the things that you want to do. So you kind of just ended up being stuck in this cycle of feeling guilty because you're not doing the things and not doing the things, so it's causing you to feel guilty, and now you're just stuck. Another one is shutting down and doing less or nothing at all. So it's a cause, but it could also be an effect. Being easily distracted or influenced by others. That's a big one, because when you have no structure and no discipline, you're kind of able to just be swayed in any which direction. If you don't have a solid direction in which you're going and that you know that you need to do and that you're following on a steady path, you could be swayed by somebody else's advice, somebody else's opinion, something you see on social media, anything of the sort. And that's the next one, actually, comparing your progress to people on social media. So if you're not doing enough for yourself and you see people creating all these things for themselves, you kind of fall into this mentality of comparison. Like, oh, they got this, but I don't got this. And, you know, it creates those same feelings of shame and guilt. And another one is lower confidence, which we'll get into a little bit more. So I know that was a lot. But I felt like it was important to share these symptoms, causes and effects with you guys, so that you could recognize it when it's showing up in your lives, or recognize what you're experiencing. If you resonated with anything that I listed, then you could kind of understand, okay, this is just an effect or a symptom or a cause that is making you not able to follow through. Before we get into our actionable steps that we can take to create discipline at will, I want to create a little bit of understanding, because the biggest thing I want to do before getting into the actionable steps and recreating this loop is to help women understand that your resistance to discipline is not a character flaw. A lot of women adapt that mentality that is just them. If they just had a little bit more, then they can do more. You know what I'm saying? But that is not always the case. I want to reframe and break it down a little bit more so that you guys could understand exactly what's going on. What I have here is femininity thrives on safety. So we need to feel safe in order to create and operate at our full potential. Anything like a activated nervous system or low capacity can impact your ability to operate at your fullest potential. Safety could be numerous amount of things. It could be like your environment can make you feel unsafe, people around you if they're not nurturing or supportive of your dreams and goals. And a big one is like an internal safety. So things like harsh criticism, pressure, and negative self-talk, it might work for a little bit to get you up and maybe get to the gym 1 or 2 days, maybe for a week, maybe 2 weeks. But it isn't sustainable for women, and it's not gonna be a long-term solution, because what this does is actually creates more shame and unsafety. As we know, unsafety is one of the main causes of creating this resistance to discipline, and shame is also something that keeps us stuck in that loop. It doesn't really provide a healthy, sustainable solution for us women. So what we want to do instead is to give ourselves gentle yet firm self-talk. Instead of saying to yourself like, oh, I never follow up on the things I do, I suck, I'm not good at anything. Kind of just like talking down on yourself for not following through. Like, look at you, you did it again, like you failed again, you said you was gonna do this, and you didn't, and like you're just a failure. We want to refrain from that kind of talk. But we also don't want to go too gentle to the point where we're like allowing ourselves to be complacent. So we don't want to be like, it's okay if you spent the last 4 months and not taking no steps towards your goal. Like, you could continue and lay here on social media. Like, you're good. You know what I'm saying? You want to stay away from that talk as well. Like, you want to find a nice balance between, okay, like, I understand, it's been a rough couple weeks, you fell off a track and you haven't really been doing the things that you said that you want to do. However, you did say that you want to create it, so we need to start taking some kind of steps towards this goal. Might be feeling a little tired today. 5 hours might seem like a lot to work on the business, so how about we do 1 hour today? And after that, you could go relax, you could go rest, you know what I'm saying? You could watch a movie, you could chill, but we do need to take some steps towards this goal. That's gentle but firm. You don't want to be talking down on yourself, you don't want to name call yourself, but you also don't want to super coddle yourself to the point where you're just going years without taking any actionable steps. You know what I mean? I want to talk about being a little too much in our feminine energy. So I want you to picture the yin and the yang sign, right? So as you know, I don't know which is which. Unfortunately, I probably should have looked that up before this video, but I didn't. But with the yin and the yang sign, you have the white one and it has that little black circle. And then you have the black one with the little white circle. So that's how it should be for feminine and masculine energy. Like, I don't know which is which, I apologize. But say the white one, for example, we'll use that to represent feminine energy. You want to be majority feminine energy, but you also need that little bit of masculine energy. Feminine energy is such a beautiful thing, very beautiful to have, very beautiful when you're healthily existing in your feminine. Masculine energy is also a beautiful thing when it's healthy, but if you're too much in your feminine energy, what it does is creates this lack of ability to follow through. When I talk about feminine and masculine energy, I'm not talking about genders at all. I'm talking about qualities and traits that are associated with the different energies. You're able to think about these beautiful ideas, create these beautiful ideas. However, if you're fully in your feminine energy without any masculine energy, it doesn't create the necessary structure that you need to take the action towards those steps. You do need some masculine energy. That's going to be the energy that you need to take those ideas from just visuals to actually materialize and actualize them in the world. The masculine energy protects the feminine and it brings those ideas to life. That is the ability to execute, to be consistent and create structure and go out and do the things. I also wrote here that having a negative perception of masculine energy can taint your perception of your own masculine energy. So if you have negative experiences with men in your life, or just you've never really had like a good example of healthy masculine energy, this could kind of interfere with your own relationship to your masculine energy and in turn create that resistance to discipline or following through, because there's already like a negative perception or stigma on masculine energy. So I'm going to be doing another video on that at some point where I'll dive deeper into helping you guys understand that, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to just leave it at that. For now, I want you to reframe that idea of masculine energy within yourself as something that protects you, something that protects your feminine energy. It protects your ideas, it protects the things that you want, and it takes those ideas and it takes those things and it bridges the gap from being in your head to being in the real world, and really create that structure around the things that you want to create. And then the last little note I have here is the more that you don't follow through, the more you create the lack of trust within yourself. If you say you want to do something so many times and you don't follow through, like that every time you say that you want to do something, you're going to have that little voice in your head that's like, well, you said that about the last 10 things and you didn't do it. So deep down, you're going to feel like you're already going to have this subconscious feeling that you're not going to be able to follow through, or that you're not going to follow through with it. You wouldn't trust a man who keeps saying he's going to do something, he never does it. Like, you'll end up feeling unsafe with him and that you can't trust your word. So I want you to think about that same ideal when it applies to yourself. Why would you trust yourself when you keep saying you're going to do something, you never do it? Now, I'm not saying this in a way to create guilt or shame. Again, this video is about reframing that. I'm just saying this to help deepen that understanding about your resistance to discipline. Whatever the case may be with why you didn't follow through, continuing to do that is going to continue to lower that confidence and that self-trust. So instead of seeing discipline as something that you have to do, I kind of want you guys to think of discipline as something that you get to do. So instead of I have to work on my business today, or I have to go to the gym, or I have to do this, it's like I get to take care of my body. I get to bring my ideas to life and eventually make profit off of the ideas that God planted within me. Use a child, for example. So say you have a kid and you bathe them every day. It's not something like, oh, I have to be disciplined and bathe my kid every day, right? You're doing it because you care about your kid and you want to take care of your kid. So instead of, oh, I have to bathe my kid today because I got to be disciplined, I got to lock in, and I got to do the things, like, no, I get to bathe my kid today because I love my kid and I want to take care of my kid. And, you know, this is something that's included, that comes with taking care of my kid and making my kid feel good. So I want you to think about that for yourself as well. Instead, if I gotta lock in, go to the gym and get the desired body and, you know, get the business running and get the business going, like, I get to go to the gym, I get to nourish my body with nutritious food, food that's gonna give me energy. I get to go to the gym and release my, I don't know, feelings for the day, listen to music and strengthen my body. Okay, so that was a lot. I say all that to say the goal here is to cultivate an inner power and strength that you can call on and come back to in any given moment to muster up the motivation and confidence that you need to create whatever it is that you want, to do whatever it is that you want. I'm gonna leave it at this, and then I'm gonna make another video that's gonna go through the actual steps that you could take to create discipline in your life, just because I feel like this video is going on pretty long. And again, I don't want to make this any more overwhelming than you probably already feel, than you're probably already experiencing. I hope this video created a little understanding for you. You could get a little more insight into what it is that you're experiencing and recognize that it is not you. It is not a character flaw, baby girl. Just some things going on that we need to understand and work through, you know what I'm saying? So we could get to the next step. If you guys have any questions, comments, concern about the topic, please drop them down below. We can get into some discussions, maybe share your symptoms, maybe share some effects that I didn't list, maybe even some causes that I didn't list today. I know there's so many different ones. Those are just the ones I listed, are just some common ones or some frequent ones that I've heard from other women and that I've also experienced myself. And in the next video, we're going to get to the actionable steps that will create an internal strength to muster up the ability to act on your goals at any given time, after any given moment. It is a routine that has worked for me faithfully for the longest time, and I just want to share it with you guys so that you can apply it to your own lives and get to the business. You know what I'm saying? Like, get down to the nitty gritty so you guys can have the lives that you want. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you made it this far, I'm so proud of you. You're one step closer to creating the life that you desire and that you deserve. I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah.